Time now to meet a young and multi-talented competitor in ERC2, Frenchman Victor Cartier.
My father was a driver since my childhood, so I always seen a rally car in my garage. I began as a co-driver of my father, and after my first co-driver was my father. He is always with us. He keeps an eye on everything, and he is here to support us.
After 3 years in the French Junior Championship in a two-wheel drive Ford Fiesta, it was time for Victor Cartier to step up to four-wheel drive. But how to do that?
We haven't the budget to buy or to rent an aircraft car for a season, so as I finished my studies as an engineer, to continue to progress as a driver and as an engineer, we decided to build our own car.
Well, to avoid having to start absolutely from scratch, the Rallye 2 kit was the best option, as some parts are included, but there is still an awful lot to design and build yourself.
The Rallye 2 kit, we have only the engine, gearbox, rear diff, suspension parts. We haven't the bodies, body shells, the wall cage, not the cooling system. Everything in the cockpit is not included in the kit, so I had to develop my own wall cage. The most difficult was the sheet metal design on the car, the wheel arches, the front wall tunnel, because I never done it before. The fiber body is also a long work because we started from scratch. From the first design on my computer to the first run with the car, I spent 1 year and a half on this project. It's really interesting for me as an engineer, as a driver too, because I understand everything on the car.
The engineering work that went into building the car was extensive, but once it was done, Victor Cartier still was unable to focus solely on his driving.
We haven't the budget to pay an engineer to analyze the data and to do everything. So yes, on the road section, it's still engineering in my mind. I try to think how can I have a better setup on the car. But at the start of the stages, I try to keep my mind clear and focus on my driving.
Because in the end, despite having to wear two hats, Victor Cartier's goals are very clear.
Of course, my dream is to become European champion and world champion.
But for now, it's time for him to learn more about the Azores Rally. How will the driver-engineer deal with the tricky gravel roads and the unpredictable weather? Stay with us to find out. It's Thursday in the Azores free practice and qualifying day. The weather's dry, conditions are perfect, and Victor Cartier and co-driver Fabien Crin are getting ready for their first taste of the Azorean gravel in competition mode. A crash in free practice meant no qualifying, but instead lots of extra work for Victor Cartier and his mechanic.
la transmission, comme ça tapait de ce côté-là.
Transmission, since we hit on that side, it's quite fragile. We're going to change that too.
Ça fait toujours du travail.
A lot of extra work that we weren't expecting, but most of all, it's just the frustration. Starting the rally that way, it's a real shame.
Dommage.
The night was short, but Victor Cartier and his team managed to get the car ready to go at the start of the rally.
My mechanics work almost all the night on the car, so I hope all it's okay. We'll see, but yeah, we are optimistic and we'll try to push, and we will see after the first loop.
And for the start of the rally, the Azores lived up to their reputation with fog, rain and changing grip conditions. With what's in the back, I don't know if we should take one or two used spares. I'd take two. Should we change the camera? There's no more battery. It won't work. Check there's no water leak because we had to refill it. I think there's a little leak. It's a couple of centimeters lower than before, but it goes down really slowly. There are enormous gaps, big holes, and any mistake in a tenth of a second, you can lose 40,000 seconds. After working till the last second in the midday service park, it's showtime again through the rain and the fog.
The pop-off was completely open from the beginning.
The pop-off
so
was
such a shame to lose a lot of time like this, but it's like that.
Despite this issue, Victor Cartier is second in ERC2, ahead of championship leader Fiofanov at the end of day one. Having stayed out of major trouble, he can relax a little and enjoy a quiet evening with his family and team. On the rallies, to avoid further cost, Victor Cartier and his small team all live and sleep in the truck. Between the rallies, this dormitory is where the Yaris lives.
Gaucher en frein 20 mètres, referme 90, ouvre et referme 80 reste.
C'est gaucher en frein?
Ouais. Sur 50 mètres droite, 120 moins tard, tenir. Sur gauche, 112 plus rapide en montée, 100 mètres.
Mais attention à droite. Ouais, tu me bats à droite tout ça.
Ouais, ok.
Conditions were much better on day two in the Azores, but full focus was still needed to avoid any mistakes.
Sur gauche 101, tenir, fini bosse, sur droite à fond, pour un gauche 150, voilà, gauche 150, sur un droiti.
I think we have a water leak because we have no water in
on the engine before the stages, so I was a bit worried during the stage, but I will check that now. I don't know where is the leak, so maybe on the radiator, because it's a spare one, and we didn't test it before to mount it on the car. We will see at the service park what we can do.
Again, it's a race against the clock for the whole team to make sure the Yaris is ready to make it through the final stages of the event.
Sur pas côte, donc gauche 132 en ciel lent, referme 120, dans 230 bref.
There's relief and joy in the team as Victor Cartier brings the car home, finishing the Azores Rally second in ERC2.
It's our best result for this season. We wanted the victory, but it takes that. After some difficult rallies for us, it's good to be on the podium.
After an exhausting event, it's time to celebrate the second podium of the season. Next stop, Spain.